Now, that being said, some of these methods are old hat while others are fresh. Now, there's a good reason why certain methods like article marketing, video marketing, blog commenting, why those methods are very well known. Reason being that they've stood the test of time and they still continue to work. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't any new advances or strategies that you may not have heard before. There are lots of new ways to generate traffic, to convert your visitors, and to make money using blogs. Especially now as we're starting to get into 2011. There's lots of new changes that are happening within the blog community that I definitely want to bring to your attention. But as we go through, as I said, there will be some old hat or tried and true methods that still do work, and that's the reason why they're going to be suggested, because they still are effective. Now, one of the things that does not change, is the selection of WordPress as the #1 blog software of choice. Due to the vibrant community and all of the different options that you get with WordPress, the flexibility to create any site that you can imagine is really unmatched. Now, this is especially true when you invest in some of the unique plugins and themes that are available through WordPress. So these are both free plugins and themes that have been made available, as well as some paid options that we'll discuss as well. Now, when it comes to blogging to the bank in 2011, the question is, what's new? Well, in this edition, we're going to be looking at the niches from a top-down approach. What this does is it's going to allow you to see different ways that you can attack the niche. Instead of picking a product or picking a particular offer that you want to promote and then working from there, what I'm going to show you instead is I'm going to show you that there are many different ways that you can make money within a particular niche itself. So instead of being so focused on products and being very product specific, we're going to take a top-down approach, look at the niche from the top level, and then go through each individual layer and pick out the different strategies that you can deploy to be successful in that particular area of the niche. Now I'm going to show you how to find the opportunities in any niche and then guide you towards which type of blog you should create to take advantage of them. Okay, now why should you build a blog? Well, when you compare blogs versus sites, blogs are easier to create and manage. Blogs are also dynamic, while HTML sites are static. So where you create an HTML page, it never changes. A blog, on the other hand, those pages do dynamically change as you add more content, as comments get added to your blog, and other changes are made. That being said, blogs are also more flexible than HTML websites. Now, please note, I mean strictly HTML websites. I understand that when you get into using JavaScript and PHP code and things like that, you can make a website do a lot of the same things that a blog can, but you need to be fairly versed in HTML, PHP, JavaScript, Ruby on Rails, all the other sort of programming languages that are out there to be able to execute those changes. Whereas with a blog, and specifically WordPress blogging software, those things are handled out of the box a lot more simply. You don't need to learn all the nuts and bolts of what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, most importantly, or one of the most important reasons why you should look at creating a blog rather than creating a website, is that blogs are favored by the search engines. This is very important because blogs are dynamic, because they are more flexible, because they're easier to create and manage, and because of the constant updating of content. They are being favored by the search engines, and this is not something that's new. This is something that's been happening for quite some time now. As well, blogs are self-promoting and viral. With the trackbacks and with blog comments and with simple plugins that allow you to share your blog posts on Twitter, on Facebook, to bookmark your blog posts with social bookmarking sites. All these things do not come standard with a website. With an HTML website, you would have to code all of these things in by yourself. So blogs make life much, much easier in that respect. Now, as a result, the search engines themselves, they do love blogs, and one of the first reasons why they love blogs is because blogs build inbound links faster than HTML websites do. Using WordPress plugins, you can actually automatically create links between all of your different pages. You can insert a keyword and have that keyword be placed in all of your posts across the entire site. In comparison, doing that with an HTML website, you would have to go in and individually change each individual link to have those changes take effect across the entire website. So the fact that a small change can be made within your control panel that will change all of the links on your site is another reason why the search engines love blogs, because they do help to build inbound links faster. And not only do they build inbound links faster, but blogs also build deep links as well. So as I was just saying, you can have links going to any page on your blog, and you can have it set up so it's done so automatically. Rather than having all of your links pointing to your home page as you would with an HTML website, your blog pages are each set up individually, and using the WordPress software platform, you have the ability to link deeply into your blog, so you can link directly to an article or directly to even a blog comment page if you use the appropriate plugins to do so. Now, another reason why search engines love blogs is because blogs reciprocate links more often. Now, as I said, you have the ability to display comments on your blog as well as comment on the blogs of other blog owners. You also have the capability to create and make available on your website trackbacks. Now, trackback is a similar process to a reciprocal link. The only difference is that you're placing a trackback on someone else's site in reference to content that you have on your site. So you are visiting a blog, they happen to write an article about a subject matter, you read the article, as a result you have some thoughts that you wish to express on your own, so you go into your own blog and you write a post. Because their post is the one that inspired you, you would then go in and create a trackback, and it would create a link on your blog to theirs, and as well send out a notification to them asking them to return the favor. So they'd get a notification asking that they place the reciprocal link back to your blog. Now, aside from this, aside from the trackback structure, there is the general nature of bloggers is to be more sociable with their neighbors, so to speak. Bloggers like to spread link love amongst their neighbors, so amongst the people that are in the same markets as them. The basic credo, or the basic sort of way of looking at things, is that if it's good, valuable content that my audience would enjoy, there's no reason why I shouldn't feature it. So if a blogger in your market finds your content valuable, it would not be out of the realm of possibility that what they would then do is actually set up a reciprocal link, or just a one-way link linking to your article, because they want to make sure that their audience sees that, because they understand that they will get value out of reading your content. Now, I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. Another reason why the search engines love blogs is because blogs have fresh content updated on a regular basis. Unlike a static HTML website that gets created once and then is left alone, blogs are constantly being updated with new content. Every time a new trackback is posted, a new comment is made, anytime you go in and make any changes, or anytime your blog content is shared on Facebook or retweeted on Twitter, when you have those plugins in place, You then have now one more tweet that gets sent out, or one more share on Facebook, or one more person liking it on Facebook. Those changes then get recorded on your blog, and Google sees that there's all of this activity. One of the more recent changes to the Google search ranking algorithm is the inclusion of social activity. So things like the amount, the number, and the frequency of comments and any other social activity that happens on your website is now being factored in when determining where your site should rank in the ranking. So having that fresh content there and having all those social tools available for people to share your content is now a vital part of the process, and it's another reason why search engines love blogs. Now, before we get started into the actual Blogging to the Bank 2011 system, just want to discuss a few of the blogging basics that you should be aware of. Now, the first is that you should be injecting your personality. Now, whether that's an image that you want to project, so like a persona, what I mean by the word image, or your own genuine personality, you need to communicate that on your blog. That's the number one thing that's going to separate you from the rest of your competition. Now, the other thing, once again, is that you want to have your blog up to date and fresh. You want to think of yourself basically as a reporter for your niche, and you want to be sure that you update your blog at least once a week, because there's always going to be news that's happening in your niche, whether it's digital cameras or any niche you can think of. There's always going to be news that's happening. If there isn't at least a weekly source of news and information, changes that are happening in your market, I would highly suggest you strongly consider or reconsider, whether or not that is the niche you wish to target. Because if there's not at least new content and new information being injected into that niche at least once a week, that's going to be tough for you to continue to keep your own blog up to date and fresh as a result. Now, one of the other very important things that you need to do when you're creating your blog and as you're writing your posts is you need to speak to your audience in their language. Now, based on the market intelligence research that you'll collect through the social sites, blogs, and forums that I'll talk about later, you're going to have a very accurate picture of who your ideal prospect is. Whenever you are writing content for your blog, you need to think of that person, you need to have them in mind, and you need to speak to them in their language. Last but not least, you also want to strive for constant improvement. One of the easiest ways to do this is to look at the competition and see what they are doing, and then use them as inspiration for your own efforts. So if you see that in your market a lot of your competition is using webinars, or is using videos, or is using some sort of new technology, some sort of new plug-in, or they're structuring their websites in a certain way, you want to take a look at that, and you want to see how is it that you can make those improvements and apply them to your own website. Now, there are a few different types of blogs that you can create. Some of them you may be familiar with, others you may not have heard of before. But there are 4 different types that you can build. Each type